Okay. Can you guys hear me okay? Everything's sounding good? All right, great. Well, welcome. This is Stats XL10 Introductory Statistics. Should be a good class, and I'm looking forward to teaching it. The class website is accessed via my.ucla extension. .edu. When you registered for the class and after your payment went through, you should have received an email with instructions on how to log in. So you should have access to this, and so this is our class, and all of the information related to this class will be posted here. So it'll be under modules, and we have I've got lecture videos from previous quarter, but then I also everything related to week 1 is right here. Okay, here's the course syllabus. The syllabus is it's very long. Okay, but it contains a lot of information. I will have office hours in this classroom from around 6:15 to 7. You can review your quizzes, or if you have questions or things like that, just send me a message. Let me know that you'll be here, and I'll be here. As far as grading for the class goes, it will be 30% final exam, 30% midterm, and then 30% quizzes. So that makes up 90% of the course. We also have some homework, although I'll explain the homework in just a bit, and 5% attendance. The way attendance works is I will just take attendance on arbitrarily selected days. Okay, you have to be present to get the attendance point, even if you have a very good reason for not being in class. You won't get points for attendance. Okay, so you have to be present when I take attendance to get your attendance. We will have a quiz pretty much every single week. Okay, so starting next week, we'll have a quiz. And I mean, other than the week of the midterm and the week of the final, and then the week immediately after the midterm, there's no quiz, but there's a quiz every other week, so that's 8 quizzes. And that will be at the beginning of class from 7 o'clock to around 7:30. Quizzes are about half an hour, so make sure you get to campus on time. Okay, if you get here at 7:20, then you'll only have 10 minutes for the quiz. I won't be giving you extra time for the quiz. So make sure you arrive on time each week. We'll have quizzes. If you have a good reason for missing class and can support it with documentation, if you got sick, then please get a doctor's note of some kind, or if you have car trouble or something, get some kind of note from either the auto shop or whatever it might be. If you have some way to kind of back up what you are, your reason for missing a quiz, I'm willing to give makeup quizzes. Okay, but as far as attendance goes, again, you have to be present for attendance. So we'll have 8 quizzes. I dropped the lowest of your 8 quiz grades, so the remaining 7 quizzes get averaged together, and that makes your quiz grade, which accounts for 30%. We have the midterm exam and the final exam, and those are each worth 30%. The way homework will work is I will assign homework each week. Okay, and you can see it says week 1 homework, and it will just kind of list off reading for you to do, and also exercises from the textbook for you to do. And I have exercises for both the first and second edition of the textbook. So you know, whichever version you have, it should work, okay? And so I've got homework there. I don't actually collect the homework, all right? So, you know, I assign it because I think the homework is a useful activity for you to do to kind of test your understanding and make sure everything makes sense to you. You know what? Let me dim these front lights here. Okay. So the homework is for your benefit. I don't actually check to see if you've done it, but if you find yourself struggling in the course and you're asking me for help, you know, one of my first questions will be, you know, let me see how you're doing in the homework, okay? And then if you can't show to me that you have done any of the homework problems, then I will probably tell you that that's probably a good reason why you are struggling in the class. So please make sure you do your homework, okay? I've also, for a lot of the homework problems, not all of them, but for many of them, I have recorded some videos on how to solve the homework problems, and these are all posted to YouTube, and so you can just click any of these videos, and it provides solutions for how to solve the homework. Now, please, they are there to help you. Okay, I don't want the video solutions to be a hindrance in your learning, and what I mean by that is when you are faced with a homework problem and you find yourself struggling, you should not immediately say, okay, well, let me just take a quick look at the answer, okay? Because there's not going to be much learning. Because anytime you look at the answer, you'll say, oh yeah, that makes sense, okay? Whenever I do things in class, it's going to feel like, oh, this makes sense, I get it, okay? But when you do the homework on your own without outside help, this is, you know, closer to what it looks like to taking a quiz or taking a test, and that will be really how you demonstrate whether you understand something or not. So, so make sure you do the homework and don't cheat yourself out of a learning opportunity by just jumping straight to the answers there. Okay. A few important dates in this where it says welcome to README. Make sure you've marked these dates off on your calendar to be here on the midterm and final, and you'll have we'll take the full class time for both the midterm and final exam, and so you know, make sure you are here, you're able to be here, and that's how that will go. You'll need a calculator. I strongly recommend that you get at least a scientific calculator. A calculator like this costs maybe $15 on Amazon, okay? It's a worthwhile investment, so make sure you get one. You are not allowed to use your cell phone as a calculator. And if you have a graphing calculator, you know, one that costs, you know, 90 bucks or 100 bucks, that's fine. You don't have to spend an additional 15 to get one, okay? But, you know, if you're trying to get through the class with just a 4-function calculator, I strongly urge you just spend a few extra dollars to get a good calculator. It'll make your life a lot easier. Is there a question?
Yeah, are business calculators allowed?
Business calculators are fine, although I don't, they are not, I don't recommend them. They are missing certain functions, and the way they handle decimal points it's often fixed decimal place for business calculators, and so I don't recommend a business calculator. I think the TIBA2 is a common business calculator, and on the box it says useful for statistics, but it's not useful for this statistics class. So I don't recommend the the TIBA2. I have some recommendations for a calculator on this page here, which is again available via under the modules under week 1 where it says welcome and readme. The welcome and readme is kind of like a summary of the syllabus, all the important bits and pieces there. Okay, so I do have some recommendations for a calculator. I use a calculator on screen here. Okay, and these 3 calculators kind of have similar buttons to the calculator that I have on screen, and so when I push buttons on the screen, you can kind of follow along if that's helpful to you. If you have your own calculator that you're comfortable with, no problem there. Okay. This is what we have with exams, quizzes, and things of that nature, and this is our grading scheme. Okay, are there any questions on all of this? No? Okay. I do want to say a few things. So some of you are enrolled in this class and you should not be for I don't know how else to say that. Some of you are taking this class because it will fulfill your math requirement at your community college, and if you want to fulfill your math requirement at your community college, it would take you maybe 3 additional classes or something along those lines. Okay. If that sounds like you, there is a chance that you do not have the requisite math knowledge or understanding to do well in this class. Okay, you need to have a solid grasp of algebra and all of those concepts. And I actually forgot to bring the copies right now, so we will take a break at around 8:20, 8:30, and after the break I'll have a short quiz for you guys. Okay, that kind of tests your prerequisite knowledge of math. Okay, and so anyway, if you're coming in like that, there is a chance that you might come to every class and you might study hard, but you just don't have the appropriate math background to get you through the course. Okay. This is introductory statistics, so I'm not going to be spending any time covering algebra or concepts that are, basically prereqs for this class. Okay, I'm going to assume every student that's enrolled in here has the appropriate prereqs, and I know that for some of you that's not the case. Okay, and so I guess I'm just saying, proceed with with caution. If that sounds like you, it might be a better move to just hold off, take the other math courses, and then take this class at another time where you've met those requirements, because it is an expensive class. Okay, you've paid a lot to be here, and it would be I feel bad if you guys don't pass. Okay, but at the same time, I can't teach 2 or 3 classes worth of knowledge in one class time. Okay, so I will have after the break we'll take a short quiz, and it should give you an idea of whether you feel comfortable or not. Okay, I'm not going to kick you out of the class, even if you do poorly on this intro math test. I'm not going to kick you out of the class, but that you should heed that as a warning about whether it's the best idea to continue or not. Okay. Are there any questions before we get into the content of the class? Okay. All right. Well, then we'll take a look. Oh, let me. So we will have a quiz next week. And so each week where you have a quiz, I do post a little bit of information. It says information about next week's quiz. Okay, and it will kind of list off some of the topics that you need to know, and I also have posted a practice quiz with answers for the practice quiz. Now, the way what I recommend as far as the practice, using that practice quiz, I recommend doing the homework first and then doing the practice quiz. Okay. Some students I know go immediately to the practice quiz and try to answer the questions and try to see what they know and don't know, and that works for some. But what happens often is that students will study the practice quiz, learn the answers for the practice quiz, but when the actual quiz comes around and things have changed a bit, it turns out that they didn't actually have a good understanding of the concepts on the practice quiz, but really just learned the answers to the practice quiz itself. So I would say, try to understand the concepts first by doing the homework, and then you can take a look at the practice quiz. Okay, I'm recording everything that you see on the screen, and this will be posted online on the My UCLA extension. On this, it will show up here as a lecture video, and I'm going to put a break in this video here because this just covers the course policies here.